Hello, hello, I'm Chris, and welcome back to more Satisfactory. So, last time, I started on a massive steelworks project, and I wanted to get rails in here. Unfortunately, I don't have a time-lapse or anything like that. I wanted to do something fancy, but the mod I was trying to use just kept crashing the game. And I tried a bunch of different render settings, and nothing really seemed to help, so... for now, at least, that's kind of off the table, so we don't get a fancy-looking view of anything. But I will go over it real quick. This bottom layer I reserved for a train station. It's probably a little more room than I need, but I'd rather have more room than not enough. But for now, this is all temporary. I've just got a truck going back and forth with coal. Up here is where everything is, though. We've got our... It's bringing in, if I come here in the middle, it's bringing in our iron over here. And we've got two full iron nodes, 480 on each belt, being split into four and coming up here. So I've got a bunch of smelters, and I really like how this came out. These, I used blueprints to make everything really nice and quick to build. The smelters and the foundries, at least, came out pretty good looking, I think. Not really much to see from up here. But I like how they, like all the industrial looking beams and stuff. And then so after we get our iron smelted, it's going over here. And I'm using a recipe that uses iron ingots instead of iron ore. So we get a little more production out of them. And those are just going into the foundries and coming out as steel. So our coal comes in from here, gets fed out to all these, and I've also got cement feeding up too. Just like the iron, the foundries came out looking pretty nice with the industrial beams. I think I left enough room here to make it not feel cramped, while also feeling like an actual factory production line. And if we... I didn't really plan the walkability out very well, so it's kind of a mess. But that's okay. If we come up here... these are where all our finished products are coming down. We come up here, we have the production floor for our parts. Over here is all of our constructors, and these are making beams. We got 2 rooms of those. So they're all producing beams, and then across the way, we have our 2 floors of constructors creating the pipes. So probably more pipes than we'll need for a long time, but they're there. And then I didn't really plan out the logistics of this very well, so that's why we have things going up and down just in the middle of the floor. If we keep going up, we have another floor of constructors doing pipes. And at the very top of this pagoda-looking thing, we've got our assemblers making our encased beams. And if we come up here, we can see the top level. I got 10 total. So I think it's producing 60 per minute, but I'm not sure. I don't know why our beams are so slow. Probably because I used a manifold. I'm sure it'll even out eventually. But that's our production. So what I want to do today is I want to get the start of a train system set up, or at least the plans for it. To do that, though, I need to kind of figure out where I'm going to be bringing things. I need like a central hub kind of area, I'm thinking. And looking at the map, I was thinking maybe the Rocky Desert. It's a little bit of a long trek from where we are, but once we get the rail lines down, it wouldn't be bad. There's also the Dune Desert, but I feel like that's kind of like where everyone builds their big, massive factory, because there's just nothing out there. There's also the option of just going over the water, but I feel that that's kind of a little boring. So I really don't know quite yet. I do know that this is an annoying walk to make out to the steel production. But we are producing a lot. Plenty of beams and encased beams, and then we got our overflow. I think our coal is fine. I don't think it's been running out at all. No, we got plenty of coal. So 2 full lines of coal, 2 full lines of iron, and that's what's powering this place. And then I got 3 lines of cement just to fuel the encased beams. For now, though, I think I'm going to look around and try and find a place to build out, like, a hub area. I don't want it to be too far away from everything, but at the same time, I feel like that doesn't really matter if we get a train network going. I'm thinking maybe I should start on some blueprints first to help lay out a train network. Maybe we'll do that. I do see that my jetpack fuel is dangerously low, though, so I'm going to pick up a couple stacks of that. Which is not too bad of a trek. Like, as long as I have jetpack fuel to get there. It's just right over here with all of our first oil setup. Which, that's another thing I want to bring by rail, is all of our oil production. I feel like centralizing that would be a big help, too. Why is that not... Oh. Oh. That's not good. Okay, I gotta revamp this real quick. We should be back to producing stuff here. Yeah, I can see the fuel already coming. Okay, so crisis averted. Probably also need an overflow for the fuel. So let's do that just to be safe. So that should keep that running indefinitely. Now, let's see. What was I going to do over here? Blueprints, that's right. So it is very dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plop down some lights. All right, so 2 things I want to build are a train platform and a train... I don't know what it would be called. Like a signal platform. Let me start with some walls so I can get the height where I want it. I think I want it 1 taller. So this is where the tracks are going to sit. Then down below, I'll have room for pipes and conveyors as needed. Thinking I might want a different foundation than that, though. I saw someone's video where they did something similar to this. I think the guy's channel is What Darren Plays. He did like a framework and then he had concrete in the middle. And I think I want to do that. So we need the road barrier, I think, is how you do it. Is that the right snapping point? I'm not sure. Let's find out. It is. Perfect. And then I want to get my customizer and turn that into concrete. Yeah. Yeah, so then we end up with like these the bars on the side and the train tracks can sit nicely on them. Underneath I want probably these guys. I think that's probably close enough. So we need 2 rails and they're just going to go like that on top. And that should be enough spacing for them. And then we have the center line to do whatever we need to do. So that should be our basic rail line. There's not really much to it. I can't really think of anything else I might need to add. All right, so that's done. Now if we go into our blueprints, we have our rail line, which we can just snap to other pieces of rail. And then this one, I'm going to have the same... Maybe I won't have the same design. What I want is... Yeah, that's what I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a big metal pillar on either side. And then frame foundations. And I'm not sure how tall a train is. Can we take a look at one real quick? Okay. They're not super tall, so this should be tall enough, I think. So now we got kind of just a basic little railway thing. And if I do a billboard up here. That's a big billboard. I don't want that big. So if I had crystal oscillators, I could put billboards there. But that should fit a train all right. Let me just double check and make sure. It's a little tight. That might look a little silly with the, Okay, so I'm just gonna start over and figure this out. Maybe I want it 3 foundations wide? Alright, and how tall are these trains again? I always forget, because I never use trains. Too tall, so I'll give them one more thing of clearance. And in the center of this, I can do some lights. But I gotta move this. Floodlights are a little big. I wish there was a smaller option. Problem is, that's gonna overlap with, like, my pipelines and stuff, because I want pipeline supports right here. On either side. Maybe 2 of them. Yeah, 2 pipelines on either side. I also want conveyors on either side. And that'll just make it so I can transport resources short distances if I need to. So that should let me move resources around pretty easily. And I would like lighting down here, but I can't really think of any way to do that. That doesn't look like garbage. Alrighty, so after a bit of fiddling, I got some blueprints that should make creating a highway much, much easier. So I've got a highway segment, which is just a section for road and for rails, with the rails being elevated. And then I got a checkpoint segment, which is where the I'll be able to connect conveyors and pipes, and it's also got lighting, and I will be putting signals on that part of the rail. So with that, I think I'm going to grab some building materials, and we're going to head out to the Rocky Desert and see if I can't find a place to kind of start over almost. Not really a mega factory kind of place, but more like a storage hub, I think. Alright, now that we're in the desert, we can find a spot to build. And I think I know where I want to build. I want to build by the... closer to the starting location, I think. Because there's a lot of empty space over there. Whoa! Okay, then. I'm tired of flipping all these trucks. Oh my god, just let me drive. This area right here, I think, is where I want to build. Or maybe just over this hill. Anyway, somewhere right around here. Okay, so let's see. I want it to be above this. About right there. That way I can go over most obstacles. This should give me plenty of room to turn around and stuff. And then I want a freight platform, which I need frames for. Alright, and this one is going to be for steel drop-off, I think. So these are all going to be unload. That's 5x10 for 3 cars. And then they also need storage containers, which I need pipes for. So now I want storage container. I've never actually used trains, but from what I hear, they stop transporting things as soon as, well, while they're unloading. So I want a bit of a buffer so that we're not losing throughput while the train is busy. And then these will just have one output. Alrighty, so we got that done. And then this is gonna just continue out in this direction with more train things. Maybe this is a dumb way of doing things, but it's how I'm gonna do it. I don't really know what I'm doing here. Okay, let's try this again. Train station. Definitely gonna do some kind of window, but I'm not sure what yet, so I'm just gonna leave that there for now. Alrighty, so I think this is the look I'm gonna go for. And then we'll just have more stations extending that direction. And then down below, plenty of room for trucks. And I know trucks don't have the same problem that train stations do with the throughput stopping when trains are busy. But I just want to be able to get the maximum throughput if I can. Unloaded items are going to go into the mergers and then into the boxes. And then that'll take them to a more permanent storage solution, I think. And then if I build a truck station down below, that can just feed up there too. So it's all going to the same place. So before I forget to do this, I do want to make sure I have a way up. Because that is one thing I always forget to do, is make a way up. It's always the last thing I do, and it never looks good. That actually worked out pretty well right there. There we go. Now, we're only using one connection because our train stops... It stops outputting resources when cargo's being handled. Which means that we need a buffer if we want stuff to continually flow. So that's what this is here for. So I think I've got the aesthetics down that I want for this build. We got our big... Oh, I don't like that. Can I do anything about that, though? Okay, that looks a bit better. And the variety is nice. Alrighty, so I think I'm going to use this layer as logistics, because if we go over here, this is where it's all coming in. So I don't know if I'm going to continue this up or if I'm going to make a hallway coming out this way. So with our station coming along, I think it's time to start trying to move the highway out a little bit. So it's out this way is where I want to go. How's that? Okay, that's good. Is that where I want the rails to? Yes, yes it is. It's all lined up. Nice, nice. Now I am running into the problem here of it being too low. I'm gonna have to go uphill there and then uphill here. I'm not sure how I'm gonna solve that exactly. I swear, the placement of these blueprints needs a little bit of work. I love the idea of blueprints. I'm glad they added them, but they can be finicky. I really wish I could just align this to the world grid. Nice, so this is what our highway's gonna look like. It's gonna be a continuation of that, and I need to raise this up, so I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna do that yet. I also need to figure out how that's gonna work. There's a little bit of Z fighting, but that's not a big deal. We have room for conveyors and pipes to travel along the highway, as well as cars and trucks. Or trains. I need to figure out how to raise this up. So I'm going to get working on this. I'm going to get over the bumps and travel down that direction, and then this direction a little ways. There's nothing over here, but I want room to turn around. So I'll be back when that's done, I think. Alrighty, so I've solved the up and down problem. I think this is how I'm going to do ramps. With a gradual slope and to compensate for not being able to place road barriers, I got a center line and railings on the side. Hopefully that's good enough. The only thing I have to figure out now is how I'm gonna do turns. Because turns aren't quite as easy, I don't think. But now I'm going to figure out how to turn this thing, and I'll be back once that's done. Alrighty, so I think I've figured out how I want my corners to be looking. We got this station all connected, and I went with kind of broken corner look, I guess. And then I just kept the highway below sharp corners. because it's easier. I know you can do like smooth turns using some foundation tricks, but I don't have the patience for that. So I've got a little bit more work to do. And then we're going to take the highway off back toward our main base. And that's going to take a hot minute. I think the progress so far on this highway has been pretty good. I wasn't really expecting to get much done, but thanks to blueprints, it goes pretty fast, actually. A lot faster than I was expecting. So our rail line is just going to kind of end here. Like, it goes into the station, and then it loops back around, and that's about it. And then it's going to continue off in that direction. And as I get more spots for... But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. So if you liked the video, hit me with that thumbs up. Questions and comments are always appreciated. I love responding to those. And if you want to see more Satisfactory, why don't you subscribe? New videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you later. Take care. And then put the upside down one right here, if I can snap it there. Come on, let me snap. Almost. Oh, no. Nope. Come on. Snappy snap. Snap for me. Snap here, please. Okay.